What's up, everybody? It is Thursday.
It is. That's fact.
Yep, it has been all day. And this is where we do some Q&A. And this is where we do some Patreon Q&A. And we have a bunch of them. So, if you...
Which is awesome.
Yes, it's great. So if you have questions tonight, you can put a bunch of question marks in front of your question and put it over there in the, the feed over there, and Leslie will try to grab them. We have a bunch of questions. If you use a super chat, we will stop what we're doing and answer them right away. Hang on 1 second. Oh. I just sold a guitar.
Sweet.
Yeah. So the silver Stratocaster that we've been using for a bunch of demos, I was kind of like not getting bored with it, but it was like, it's time to go on to its new home. So I put a single hum setup in it and shot a video with it yesterday. So that's going to be going on the channel not next week, but the week after. And so I told the guy to sweeten the deal that I would also give him the loaded pickguard that came out of the guitar too.
Sweet.
So he could swap around options.
That's fun.
Yeah, so he'll have a single hum with the classic fives, and then, or I apologize, he'll have a single hum with the straight 8 and the super 8s and humbucker and the hot fives, and then a classic 5 pickguard too. So he'll have all of those things and be able to swap it around. And
That's really fun.
Yeah, and I gave him a deal on it. So he's in California. He's in Riverside, California. So we'll be shipping that out probably Monday. I'm going to go tomorrow and get a gig bag for it because I don't like shipping bare guitars. So I'll grab a gig bag and a box and all that stuff and get it ready, and we'll probably ship it Monday. So that's pretty cool. I'm stoked that he did that. I don't know that people know that, but a lot of the guitars that we buy for demos, we keep them around for a little while. We like do a bunch of cool stuff to them, and then sell them back to you. Like whoever.
Kenneth Stouffer says, so you have room for a new acquisition.
I already ordered it.
What?
I told you the other day. It's not going to be here till October.
You ordered it before you sold it? Oh, well, that doesn't really count.
Yeah, well, so that's the problem. Well, that's the problem right now.
And Doug said he's got to call you about November.
Oh, okay. That's the problem right now is getting guitars. Getting guitars is hard. Yeah, it's really hard. Some guitars that we buy, I'm not selling because I'm buying them for myself. But there's usually a couple or three that are kind of come in and out and that sort of thing. But I ordered a Tele because we haven't done any Tele stuff for a while. And they just came out with that new Classic Vibe 40th anniversary double bound in red with black binding. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I have to have that. So I ordered it. It's not just $6.99, which is expensive for a Classic Vibe. But I think it's going to be a really cool guitar, and we're going to do some neat stuff to it. And one of you is probably going to end up with it because that's how these things work. So, yeah, kind of cool. And I ordered a pedal yesterday. Wampler just came out with a Tube Screamer clone. And I'm not usually a Tube Screamer clone guy, but this one sounds very, very interesting, and it wasn't a bajillion dollars. So it was a reasonable pedal amount of money. I think it was $150. So I ordered that from Sweetwater. I bought it. I didn't get a free one. And I want to do a demo on that because I'm really excited about that. And I was thinking using the Black Star today and yesterday for those demos that it would be nice to have a couple different overdrive types to demo stuff. Just to get a little more versatility in the sounds. So I think that'd be kind of cool. So anyway, I got that. So that'd be kind of cool. So we got people in the comments?
Yeah, normal crowd. Chuck C said he wasn't going to be here because he gets to see Metallica and Greta Von Fleet in concert.
Ooh.
Rick Bonneville's here. Dastardly Dave. Van Shank Guitars. Doug Santinello. Gary Redburn. Joy.
Hey, Joy.
I guess it's just Kaminsky. I guess I
It
shouldn't
is.
overthink that.
It is. Yeah.
I was trying to overthink that. But
Cool. Mark Stanton, I saw his name cruise by there. Awesome. Well, you guys saw the thumbnail. This is. I've been kind of thinking about the videos that I've been making. And we've been talking about a lot of stuff and trying to like put positive spin on what's going on in guitar land lately. And I get sort of annoyed with the kind of content that has to be made that people watch. In fact, they just mentioned it in Texas Toast mentioned it in their videos. They're like, Matt is like, I'm sort of annoyed because you have to be controversial or you have to like be ultra nerdy for people to watch videos. And I was like, and I'm like, me and you have talked about this a lot of times where it's just like, make stuff that you like to make. That's fun, because that's what you have the most fun making. So I wanted to open the question up to people to fuel ideas and to just talk amongst yourselves. When you walk in a store, I kind of got the idea from Casino Guitars because they were talking about this morning about John Mayer and how John Mayer's Silver Sky is like a recession-proof guitar right now, even though it's a little more expensive because people are just so enamored with his sound and they are inspired by his sound. And so I was like, okay, who does that for you? Like, who when you listen to some kind of music or what band or maybe what style of music or when you hear a song and you're like, even if you can't play like them, because I can't play like any of the people that I can't play like my guitar heroes. But if it inspires you enough to be like, I'm going to go to the guitar shop today, and you may or may not come home with something. Like, what is the music and the artist where you're like, not necessarily trying to sound like them, because I think that's kind of corny, but that makes you go like, oh, yeah. Guitar's cool and I want to go buy a new pedal, or I'm going to just walk around Guitar Center for a half an hour, or something does that because you're on your way home from work and a song comes on, or whatever, or you see a YouTube video, or so what kind of style does that? What is it does it for you? No?
I don't play. What do you mean?
I'm kidding you.
Oh. Are you kidding me right now? Yes, you are.
I think it's funny because it's different for everybody. It's not guitar music at all for me. I'm not going to say I don't care about guitar music because I really do enjoy it. But I listen to a lot of really weird stuff that most guitar players would be like, I can't even.
Do you want to hear what folks are
You
coming
lose credibility with me. That's the kind of music I listen to. Go ahead. Yes, I do.
Patrick Trite says Jimmy Page, any song on the Presence album. Oh. Eric Johnson says Jerry Cantrell and Chris Cornell solo.
Ooh.
Margaret Zabinski says Buddy Guy. Brad Guitar Miller, Terry Cath.
Ooh.
Paul McNary says Noki Edwards.
Wow.
Rusty says lately Mark Spear from, I'm going to bash that name.
Krugman, that's the people with the wigs that I didn't think were wigs, but they wear wigs.
Yes, we just watched them.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. They wear wigs, by the way.
Chuju says, does it have to be like who does that to me now or who did at some point? And hello, by the way, he said this the first time he's attended a live and he had never seen me before.
Oh, right on. Cool. I think whatever, then and now, because that also changes over time too.
David Kornblatt says Robert Fripp of King Crimson.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what Dastardly Dave is saying right there. Does that mean anything?
Queens of the Stone Age, Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains.
Ooh.
That would be shorthand for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean Joint says Kiss, Randy Rhoads, Led Zeppelin, Monsters of the Id. Oh, I haven't seen that person.
Yeah, Monsters of the Id.
I'm usually a country jazz player.
Ooh.
But I saw... What is with these names? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
Necrogoblican play and was blown away by the sound. I want to try a metal shredder.
Can you screenshot that really quick?
Yeah.
So I want to find out later. Thank you.
John Waller says, I get inspired by Tash Sultana, Tim Henson, and that same Mark Spear guy we just talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Ivan Romanenko, classic rock for me. I have discovered Rush's first album recently, and I'm fascinated by Zeppelin-esque tones. David Carter says stuff like Machine Gun Kelly with a laughing emoji. Jeff Sim says, I want to sound like Luther picking for Johnny Cash.
Heck yeah.
Okay, now they're like full lion in.
No, that's great. Later. That's really good. The other thing is, it helps me to understand, and I know people make fun of Machine Gun Kelly, but there was a lot of people in the comments, because I posted this somewhere else too, and they're like, I really like his sound. And I really wish
so he can really play good?
Yes, he can. Oh. He can really play. And they were like, I wish his guitar was cheaper. You know, because that thing's $1,000. So like, but it's awesome.
Who made one? Somebody made one, right? I don't remember.
Did Zoltan make one?
Maybe.
Yeah, made his own version of it in a Strat. So yeah, I was just curious because that's inspiring to me to hear what you all are into. And what I love about this whole list is the fact that I think many of you, I don't want to give anybody the benefit. I mean, give everybody the benefit. I think everybody is actually listening to this stuff. I think some of this stuff is like from memories, right? But there's also a bunch where people are like actively trying to find music right now, which I think is really, really cool. Because some of those names, I'm like, you don't just run across Krungbin. You don't just run across some of those names. Like, they're, where you're literally out there trying to find music right now. And that is awesome. And I love that. And knowing that makes it, it makes it more fun for me to make videos when I know that the people in the comments it helps me to identify with real people. Because sometimes when you're putting a video out, it's just like, it just goes out into space and you just hope, But it's fun to put names, at least YouTube names, with thoughts and ideas, and I love that, to do that every once in a while. So we should get into some of these Patreon questions because we have a bunches of them. If you have questions tonight, put question marks in front of them. Leslie will try to grab as many as she can. We have a bunch of Patreon questions, so use some super chats if you want to jump to the line. Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Paul, tell us about the Alnico 8 center punches, please.
Oh, okay. So our center punch pickup is traditionally Alnico 5. And I'd been tossing around using an Alnico 8 pickup, Alnico 8 magnet in it to see what it sounds like. And after we made the Super 8, which is basically a DAF with an Alnico 8, I wanted to try it. And so I made one today, but that's all I can tell you because I don't know how it sounds because I haven't put it in a guitar yet. I literally just made it this afternoon for the first time. It is going in first. I'm going to put in a couple guitars, but it's going in the Kramer, what is it, SHG1 back there with the Floyd Rose, the purple one. It's going in that because I want to do a coil split versus parallel video, and that has a parallel switch in it. And then I'm going to wire up a coil split switch, and we'll swap them out, and we'll do a split versus parallel video. So you'll see it in a couple of weeks. Actually, you'll see it on Instagram. Here's something I should tell you. Follow our Instagram, Dylan Talks Tone. It's just Dylan Talks Tone, all one word. Make sure you follow us on Instagram because now that we have a video editor, we're shooting stuff. Like I shot a video yesterday. You're not going to see it for 2 weeks. However, what I'm doing is I'm putting the playing pieces, like the little bits of, demo, I'm putting those on Instagram right away. So it gives you kind of a taste of what's coming in a video soon. And it's also giving you a little sneak peek of that. And then you'll be able to keep up with me. So just follow it on Instagram.
Keep up with me.
Yeah.
Charles, just wanted to say thanks for sharing and hanging out with us. My grandfather told me when I was 12 to stop trying to sound like everyone on the radio and find a sound that I liked.
Amen to that. I 100% agree. Thanks, Charles.
I haven't seen him in the comments
Yeah,
yet.
I feel like he's been busy and had not been able to actually hang out for the live streams lately. He's been in some other live streams we've done lately, though.
Oh, I already clicked it, so we have to go.
Okay.
Ben. Hey, Dylan and Leslie. Been a while since I could make a live show, but I was wondering if I would need an F-spaced bridge pickup for a string-through hardtail bridge, or are they only for trim Floyd bridges? I'm using a Fender American hardtail bridge that has a 2 1/16 string spacing, if that helps.
I used a 2 1/16 string spacing guitar today with a 52 millimeter bridge pickup, and it was perfect. It was not F spaced. If you go to 2 3/16, you can still get away with a 52 mil, but 53 is better. So I would stay with the shorter one. Don't go a 53 mil, which is F spacing. 53 mil is F spacing. Don't use it. You're good.
Zoltan, can you float the bridge of the Silver Sky SE like on a Strat, such that when you pull the bar fully up, the low E bends up a semitone, the B a whole tone, the G a minor third?
When I had my Silver Sky SE, we did that very video. It is on the channel, and I will tell you that the PRS Fiore back there has a it's not the same, but it has a very similar 2-point tremolo, and it comes from the factory floated, and it's fantastic. So I would recommend doing it. It is awesome.
Paul, in a single hum configuration where the humbuckers are your center punches, which of your single coils do you suggest for the middle pickup?
It depends. If you're going to use it as humbuckers all the time, use a Hot 5 middle pickup. If you're going to split a lot, use a Classic 5 pickup. It's more balanced. I personally, if it was my guitar, I would put a Classic 5 in there no matter what. So I guess I'm saying Classic 5. That's what I would use.
Final answer?
Classic 5. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Mr. Goat, 3-part question. Do you have a favorite looper?
I am not a looper fan. I mean, I'm not a looper aficionado. I should say we are fans of looping. We love guys that do looping. I know for sure my dad is big time into it, and we have a really good friend here in Augusta, Georgia, who's really good at it, and he uses the Boss. What is it? It's the loop station, and there's like 3 different ones. There's the huge one that's like this long. Then there's like the shorter one that's like 2 pedals together. And then there's like the single pedal one, normal Boss pedal one. But they're all called loop station, but they have different names or, different, what's the word, nomenclature to whatever their pedal size is. But the Boss ones I know people really, really dig. I used to have the little one with one button on it, and I couldn't really get into it. So the Boss ones, I think, are the jam.
Do you have a favorite Univibe?
I have not played with the Univibe well enough to have a favorite.
What's a Univibe?
It makes this like swirly kind of sound. It's not a phaser, and it's not a flanger, and it's not a chorus. But it's sort of like a Leslie spinning speaker, but not really. I don't know how to explain it. But it's really cool sound. Swooshy. It's a swooshy sound.
And why?
Because I just have never really played them that much.
Hello, Mr. Goat.
This is fun when we have a lot of questions.
Rob, hello, Leslie and Dylan. Not sure if I can join live tonight. I have a thank you for the help from last week, plus a comment for when Dylan begins tonight's tone subject.
Oh, right on. Thanks.
Did you cut something off?
No.
Oh,
so
where's this coming?
I don't know. Hang on. Where's my phone? Maybe I missed something because maybe I missed something.
And Charles says, I've been watching from my TV, so it's more challenging to get in the chat.
Oh, right
Hello,
on.
Charles.
I get that. Let's see. Oh, Rob F. Here we go. So he says that his favorite musicians are Pete Townsend and Mike Ness from Social Distortion. And he is building a rig that combines their sound. So SG with P90s and a high watt. Woo, that's a killer sound. And a Les Paul with P90s. Sounds like you're a P90 guy. That's my kind of guy right there. That's pretty cool.
All right, now I have to scroll. I've never had to scroll.
For Patreon questions?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's crazy, right?
Ivan, I already knew that Squire guitars had some form of plastic bobbins in their single coil pickups. Yesterday, I was watching Landon Bailey unbox and show off the innards of an American-made Fender Telecaster Performer Series. I noticed that the neck pickup, part of a set of Yosemite Telecaster pickups, that they were also using plastic bobbins. Is this common practice to your knowledge?
Fender has done that more and more. I don't know quite how much. Because to tell you the truth, I don't buy that many American Telecasters to say whether I know that or not. But I knew the Yosemite. As soon as they said Yosemite, yeah, I knew that. Because I knew that because somebody else showed me those. And remember, that's a Performer Series. So that's just one level above Mexico. So there might be some crossing over there. Yep.
Zoltan, would you buy a Parker Nightfly?
No. No. They're weird, man. I don't... Their pickups are funny sizes. The necks are weird. And I'm not... It feels like a toy to me. I don't really... I think that's why. Probably. Yeah, I'm not a Parker Nightfly person. Cool. That was that, huh?
That was that. Someone bought you a coffee.
Sweet.
But they had a question, and it disappeared. I don't know how to see that.
Oh, you mean they got a question in my email?
It came with the coffee notification. I just saw it, but then it disappeared.
Really? Oh, here it is. I got it in my email. Please recommend an upgrade for my Squire Esquire pickup. I want to sound like Luther. Absolutely. Our flat 6 tele pickup. Put that in an Esquire. It is properly good for an Esquire because that's a 50s / early 60s kind of sound. And who sent this to me? Someone. That's all I know.
Oh, it does. It just says someone.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's what they put, or if it... Do you have to log in to see? Or...
I don't know. The Buy Me a Coffee thing, I've been meaning to get more acquainted.
Oh, you should send them the answer too, because maybe they're not even
maybe I
watching
will.
live.
What
maybe
else we got?
All a coincidence.
Get another question there so we're not boring anyone.
Why would they be bored?
Well, you know, I just hate
Justin Haskell says, I'm interested in dropping pickups in a viewer's guitar and... Oh, maybe he's asking you. Interested in dropping pickups in a viewer's guitar and putting it in a video? And would it being an SG make a difference?
So we used to do that a lot, but we don't have I don't really do that anymore. Apparently 2 people have sent me coffees. It just says someone though. Okay, cool. I will send them.
And those are like super generic, like hide my emails or something.
Yeah,
did you see the emails?
I did. Yeah, privacy thing. I get it. Yeah, we don't really do that anymore. We did before, back in the day when I needed like guitar. It was kind of honestly, it was kind of self-serving. It was like I needed guitars for videos, and it was a way to do that. I have a couple of local buddies that I'll do it because I'll go pick up their guitar, but I don't want to ship guitars around, and I don't. I don't like being responsible for other people's stuff. It's just kind of, I hate to do that. So thank you for the offer, though, very much, actually.
So reading these in order. Eric Johnson said Baxter from Casino Guitars gave Dylan a shout out in their latest video today, FYI.
I saw that.
And then I missed it. Oh, I didn't sneeze.
Fake sneeze.
And then
false alarm.
Fat Philosopher said Max from Guitar Max also mentioned Dylan in reference to his Fender Scoop.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Somebody,
that.
one of my friends in Atlanta actually sent me. Thank you for pointing that out, Fat Philosopher. Sent me a link to it and was like, "Hey, check it out." So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Christopher Hallisey, what are your thoughts on the Vox AC10C1?
Oh, the 10C1. I think it's a good little amp. I think it's especially if you're a Vox person, it will get you into that Voxy kind of sound without spending tons and tons of money. And yeah, I think it's good. I'm not personally a fan of Vox amps. That being said, I like music that was made with Voxes. I just don't personally like them.
Doug Santinello says, what's the difference in your DAF and center punch humbuckers?
Oh, what's the difference? So one of them is, so the DAF humbucker is literally just vintage wound. That's it. Like just vintage wind, classic sound, 59 Les Paul. That's it. The difference is between like a vintage pickup and our pickup is we don't use unobtainium parts to make it. That's why it is a reasonable price. Places like Throwback and other places like that, those pickups are like $400 a piece because they use all this new old stock stuff. I personally feel, and so does Premier Guitar in 2016, that we make a really good PAF copy with that pickup. So that's what that is. Our center punch pickup is a little hotter. It's like 8.5. Well, it's like 9.5 to 10K. And we wind each of the bobbins differently so that when you coil split it, the volume doesn't drop. But it still gives you a nice kind of Angus Young kind of mid-punchy sound. That's why it's called the center punch. When I designed that pickup, the idea was to make it, I just wanted to see if I could make it where the volume wouldn't drop when you pulled a coil split. The side benefit to that was that nice mid-range punch, so that's why we called it the center punch. And that pickup was designed, that and the DAF were my two humbuckers that were designed before we started making everything engine stuff. So those are the only two humbuckers we have that aren't named after engines.
Because they pre-stated it.
Yes.
Center punch was the first one, right?
Yep. Center punch was first. And
we
then
had a fun logo with that.
We did with the fist.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the DAF came after that. And then the 8-ball came after that. So I guess those three, because those are the first three humbuckers we ever did. And then everything after that just kind of fell into place. Yeah.
I don't know what this is. CAUTXXN. What guitar do you recommend for a good mid-range sound?
Good mid-range? I mean, it depends how you play it, and it depends on the amp. So either way, anything with low output pickups, like vintage classic-y wound pickups, not super hot pickups. Anytime you put hot pickups in stuff, it flattens out. They're less mid-range punchy, and they don't cut in the mix as good. So I would say vintage pickups, lower output. Anything. P90s, humbuckers, single coils. Yeah. Probably a Strat over a Tele, but that's not even fair. If the Tele pickups are good, they'd be good mid-range. So, vintage wound.
Super chat from David Carter. Thank you for the super
Thanks,
chat.
David.
I don't see a comment or a question to go with that, so I'll be on the lookout in case you had one. But thank you for sending that in.
For sure. Yeah, thanks, man.
And Doug Santinello said, thanks. The DAFs are going in the Walnut Challenger.
Oh, nice. Very nice. So he's getting a Texas Toast Challenger. That's cool.
Yep.
Another Texas Toast Challenger, to be accurate. Cool.
Gary Aruda. It sounded like he was asking this of the audience, but he did put question marks, so we're gonna ask. Hi guys, I want Joe Perry's Toys in the Attic album guitar sound, kinda P90, not sure. I have a 15-watt tube amp, so let's be realistic. Any suggestions?
It should be a P90, I think. Either a P90 or a... So if you bought one of our pickups, it would either be a P90 or a DAF. It just depends on how your guitar is cut. But I would... Didn't Joe Perry have a gold top with a single humbucker in it? That was kind of his thing. But maybe he played a Les Paul Jr. too for a while. I don't know. I'm not early. I don't know. I don't know early Aerosmith stuff that much.
All right. So David Carter sent in his question. When you split a neck humbucker, does it make a significant difference if the isolated coil by the neck or away from it? I don't know why the payment's separated from the comment.
Okay. That's a great question. In our center punches, we always leave... we wire it so that we leave the slug side on because I think it sounds more single coily. If you're really sharp with your ear, you can kind of hear a difference with it on the inside coil or the outside coil. Most people will not be able to hear that unless they have a way to switch back and forth. It does sound different. Closer to the neck is sweeter, but closer to the middle is more mid-rangey, and it sticks out in a mix better. That's kind of like why a Tele in the middle position sounds so good, or a 335 in the middle position sounds so good. So, yeah, the reason we do the slug side is because we want that. I like the slug side to stay on, and that's the pickup that is made work that way. Now, you can flip a humbucker around backwards if you want and have the screws inside versus outside. There is nothing that says you can't do that. You can do whatever you want. You can flip it around and move it just that little bit if it makes that much difference to you. Yep. That's a great question.
Super chat from Doug Santinello. Thank you for the super chat, Doug. He says, are you building a Batfish in September for yourself? I can't go, but I would be interested in buying one.
So the rule is you can't have one unless you go.
The rule.
But Matt and I have tossed around the idea at Texas Toast Guitars of me and him and Chris each making one and selling them. So we have talked about that. So I don't know what the feasibility of that is yet. Stay tuned on that, and I will talk to him more about that. I got to call him in the next couple of days and work on some details anyway. So, Doug, thank you for the super chat, first of all, also, as well. But that is in the realm of possibility. Yep.
Angel Raven, YouTube flagged your comment, and I'm pushing the show button, and it's like, no, you can't. So I don't know if you deleted it or if there's something happening, but I'm not censoring you. I literally cannot release the comment.
Oh, really? That happens once in a while, where we don't have control over that.
Doug said, yeah, he could pay for the spot. He just can't go.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Charles Wallace says, Donner Guitars on Amazon has copied the center punch with the description they give. Made me upset when I found it.
Yeah, they're not doing it right, though, so I don't care. I mean...
Not the same.
What is it, like when somebody rips you off, it's the best form of flattery or whatever? I don't care. Our stuff is awesome. I actually had another guitar company call me today or email me today and be like, hey, how long is such and such pickup been? I don't want to call it out because I don't know. How much is such and such pickup been on? How long has it been on the market? Because we just named a pickup the same name. And I was like, we've had it out for a while, and this is blah, 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 blah. This is why, and et cetera, et cetera. And he was like, okay, cool. We're just going to change the name of ours then.
Oh.
Yeah, he was super cool, dude. Like, really cool about it. And he's somebody that a lot of people know. So it was like, I felt that was cool.
Yeah.
That he did that. And not like, you can't, And then he even told me, he's like, the reason we called it that is because this is what we were doing in our specs, and we nerded out about pickups for a second.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. It was just a neat conversation to have because, these days you just figure somebody's going to sue somebody over stealing names or whatever. And we didn't do that. It was great.
Super chat from Frederick John. Thank you for the super chat. He says, anything to recommend for an 80s new wave sound?
Oh, yeah, probably something more higher output, a little darker maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I would say. So like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of those new wave guys were using single coils like Strats. Just with a lot of effects and stuff. So, I mean, classic fives in a Strat would be cool. I feel like that's, if you think about like, I know this isn't necessarily new wave, but it was the beginning of it. Like the Police, they were just playing Strats, right? And then you go into, all that Tears for Fears stuff, and you go, I know that's more poppy than new wave, but that's that whole time period. I think a lot of people were playing Strats. Yeah. That's cool. That's a cool thing to think about.
Jim Cunningham says, McCarthy plastic guitars. Remember those?
I don't.
Of course I wouldn't then.
There's a really cool series on Netflix that we just watched. The pop new wave thing, this is what made me think of it. There's a really cool series on Netflix right now called Pop Music or something. I think it's just called Pop Music, or
I don't know.
I don't remember, but it's like 6 or 7 episodes, and it's really interesting because it goes through the whole series, the whole history of where pop music came from and when country went pop and all that stuff. One of my favorite quotes of the whole show is Willie Nelson, and he's like, "Outlaw is just a term somebody came up with to sell records. There's no such thing as outlaw," and that was Willie Nelson. I was like, this dude's so cool. And then listening to Steve Earle talk about he did not care about any of the things people thought he cared about. He just wanted to make money. Because people think he's such a rebel or whatever. And he's like, no, I was just trying to sell records. Like, this is really, I don't know, it was really cool. But there's a lot of really neat stuff in there. You should watch that show. It's pretty cool.
Mark Stanton. In the T90s I bought, are those screws that are adjustable for fine tuning?
They are not. I should put something on the website about that. No, I would not adjust them. They are not. There's no need to adjust them. You can raise and lower the whole thing like a normal pickup, but I would not adjust the screws individually.
In the pickup?
Yeah, they're those T90s, with the those phenolic inserts and we
Yeah.
push the screws into it.
Yeah.
We actually press those in. They don't actually screw in. They press in. Yeah, it's a different, totally different thing than a normal setup. So, yeah.
All right. So, rapid fire.
Okay.
David Cornblatt questions.
Oh.
Do you like or would you do a joint broadcast with Philip McKnight?
Oh, totally. I totally would. Yeah.
Do you like Jazz Masters and Jaguars?
Jazz Masters, yes. Not a fan of Jags, just because I never really got into them that much.
Have you ever owned a Les Paul Studio Lite?
I have not, but I played in a band with a guy who did, so I got to play it a lot.
Thoughts on ES355 Veritone tone circuit?
Really a pain in the butt to make and really a pain in the butt to fix when they break, but they are cool. But nobody really uses them. They stick them in one spot and then that's it. Yeah.
Do you make a 6.5K humbucker?
6.5. That's very low. I could if you wanted me to. Yeah, I could do that. Be pretty easy, but that's really low. Yeah, I could do that.
Jeff Williams, what pickup wiring machine would you recommend for someone wanting to just experiment?
If you're just gonna experiment, get the Shatton kit from StewMac and build it. It's kind of cool. You can put it all together, and then it's the cheapest way. I think they're like $250 or something. And then you put it together, and then you can build it. Once you know, if you're actually going to try to make pickups, buy a good machine. I know a lot of people are like, I'm going to try making pickups, and I'm going to use a drill and a sewing machine, and I'm going to make a calculator into a counter, which is really cool in theory, but it's sort of like playing a crappy guitar for your first guitar. Like, when the experience sucks, you don't want to do it anymore. But if the equipment is good and you really are like, oh, dang, I think I could get this, then it's a good experience and you want to do it more. Don't build a winder out of a fishing reel and think you're going to know how to wind pickups. Like, get a good pickup winder if you really want to get into it.
We have a fishing reel somewhere, don't we?
I just found it the other day, and I was literally, that's what made me think of it. Yeah.
Angel Raven 444. I have a 93 Squire Strat. Should I waste money on new pickups or just buy a newer guitar with Alnico's around $500? How do you say waste money on new pickups?
It's never a waste. New pickups are never a waste. I don't ever tell somebody, unless the guitar is like broken and you can't fix it. But if it's a playable guitar that you're playing and you like it, then it's never a waste of money. Turn it into a science project and modify it. It does not matter how much it's worth or what the resale value is. Like, just do it if you want to do it. And do it for the love of doing it. Like, for the love of, I'm just kidding. Just do it for the love of doing it and learn. That's what I would say.
You did just say it.
I did.
Just gonna say it.
I said what I said.
Did you mean what you said?
I did
mean what I meant.
I did mean what I said and said what I meant.
All right.
Yes.
Let's see. Lee Asbury. Are you familiar with PRS S2 Vela?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about swapping out my pick guard and preserving the original. I wanted to try new pickups in the new guard. Any ideas?
Yeah. I mean, in that guitar, I would put DAFs in that guitar. That'd be awesome. So Jason Sabo's white. He doesn't play it very often.
Mm-hmm.
I played it sitting in with him a bunch of times. It's white single cut thing with a black pick guard. Mm-hmm. That's his S2 Vela, and it has a Bigsby on it, and it's really a good guitar. Really, 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 really good guitar. Yeah, I'd put DAFs in it for sure. That'd be awesome.
Monsters of the Id said, what if the guitarist is broke?
Never quit.
Angel Raven 444 says, well, he flashed the knife, so I guess I'll buy pickups.
That's right.
That's his fidget, y'all.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop biting my nails constantly since I was a kid, trying to stop biting my nails. And lately, the thing is, I always having a knife in my hand, like a pocket knife, and just,
He's not that intimidating, y'all.
Yeah, so, yeah, buy pickups.
Jeff Williams said, is hand wiring better than using a machine?
No. In fact, it's messier, and I mean,
it would be exhausting.
It would be exhausting, yeah. And it wouldn't be a quality product, and it wouldn't be consistent to like do it all by hand. We have a machine that just controls the speed. It's a motor that the pickup goes on, but this hand guiding the wire onto it, you can see on our Instagram, actually. I just made a video on our Instagram making a strap pickup, and you can see how it's done.
Fat Philosopher said, I find Dylan's P90 much quieter than the average P90. What is the secret sauce?
It's how the wire goes on the bobbin. That is 100% how the wire goes on the bobbin. And I am very proud of that. They're way quieter than Gibson ones.
He said, just don't stab Leslie by accident. Jeff Williams, which pots do you think sound better with P90s and a Les Paul? 250K, 500K? He always says 500K, just saying.
Yep.
And Jeff Williams will add you on Instagram.
Oh, awesome.
We are totally caught up, by the way. That's why I'm like saying your comment as it displays to me.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
It is, we still have time.
Yeah, we still got a few minutes to get a few more in there.
So what is your inspirational person? Did you answer your own question of this video?
Mine changes all the time. So
who is it today?
Today it was Coheed and Cambria.
Huh. Who was it yesterday?
Post Malone.
Point already made. We don't even have to continue.
Yeah, I mean it's all over the place. Like, yeah, and so what I'm really into is guitars when they're used for things other than just the normal rhythm and solo part. Remember, we were going somewhere the other day in the car, and I'd never heard a song before, and I turned it up, and I was like, that riff right there. It was a total pop song on pop radio, but there was a little riff in it. And I told you, I explained this to you for like 5 miles, like why I like this particular riff. And it was because it was such a simple riff. It was only one riff in amongst a whole bunch of other like electronic music. But it was like, they didn't just throw it in there. They designed the tone of that guitar riff to fit in that song. And I really, really think that's cool. And that's how I listen to stuff. I'm probably way too analytic, but that's how I do. And so when I listen to like Post Malone, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this dude's production is phenomenal. And how he fits sounds together is so interesting to me. And that's why I like electronic music a lot. Is because I like to understand how the sounds come together. And it's just like anything else. Since I do this for a living, people that are mechanics don't work on their own cars. Like I'm kind of like that with guitar music. Like I do this all day. And so my release at the end of the day is not listening to more guitar music. Yeah.
Super chat from Mr. Goat. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, sir.
He said, I'm 15 minutes behind. Dear future self, switch the laundry. Hope you are all well. Love the new short run stuff.
Oh, that's the other thing. I forgot to say that. We released a short run pickup yesterday, and nobody's bought it yet, which is weird. Normally these things sell out quickly. It's a radiator top. In fact, Ivan the other day said, why don't you make a pickup that looks like a Jeep grill? And I did not tell him that
That
I
it was
already
coming?
ordered the parts
That's so
to make it
funny.
happen. Yeah. So we have a radiator top with brass
Did you
inset.
do like hashtag Gplay?
I should do that. I should do that. So yeah, so we have a radiator top pickup that is available. It is very limited in quantity, and when they're gone, they're gone. So go to the website. It'll be on the front page of the website. You'll be able to see them right there. I took a picture, put it up there yesterday. You can order them right now.
All right, so they did what I said, and so we got to go now. John OJF, what was the August deal with loaded pick guards? Please post a link on what it is. Thanks.
We have no August deal on loaded pick guards, but we do have them available. They are going like crazy. They're on the front page of the website as well.
DylanTalksTone.com.
Yeah, DylanTalksTone.com.
Jeff Williams, I may get a Dylan P90. Can I make payments?
You can, because there is Shopify Pay that you can click on there, and it's like a firm sort of deal, but through Shopify, and you can make payments that way. You pay them,
Yeah,
and then they pay me. It has nothing to do with me, so it works pretty good. A lot of people use it.
Mark Hott got our Dr. Seuss reference earlier. Monsters of the Id said, I miss being in the Facebook group. I deleted my Facebook and I can't go back.
Right on.
All right, we have to scroll down because I'm pretty sure I'm missing. Yes. Super chat.
John Roddy.
John Own 11 can't play any Roddy. Thank you for the super chat.
He has not bought a guitar in a while.
Hi guys. How did Tom Schultz get those forever sustaining notes in Boston music?
I don't know. Probably some 80s synthesize-y, effecty boss effects stuff. All those guys were using really whack rack stuff at that time. Not all of them.
Not
all. A lot of them.
Sorry, I'm trying to go backwards so that
forwards
I can,
and forwards
because
and
I'm gonna have to grab them.
Oh, because we got a bunch in a short amount of time.
Correct. Yeah. So back. Sorry. I do think this is funny. Kenneth Stouffer, when we were like, oh, we already caught up, and he was like, well, shit. Should we talk about Wild America again?
The funny thing is, there was a bunch of people in the comments after last week's video explaining what they remembered about all those shows.
Really?
It was really funny, yeah.
That's
yeah,
funny.
It was awesome.
Okay, so that's
Take him up there.
What I mess up? I didn't. Okay.
You too many finger swiped.
Okay.
Now we're going.
Tubular Bill says Tom Schultz used a Rockman rack system.
Yes, that's what I thought. I knew it was some rack system, but I couldn't remember what it was.
All right. Gary Aruda, just for fun, what pickup in your line sounds closest to an Elsinore 125?
An Elsinore.
Isn't that what that says? I don't know.
An Elsinore 125? You mean like a P90? Isn't that what an Elsinore 125 is? Keep going.
Brad Guitar Miller. So, any further thoughts on offering other pickup classes?
Yeah, there's been many thoughts of it. But I have not got that far. Oh, Elsinore 125 like a motorcycle?
What? It's a motorcycle?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that too, but I didn't.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Brad Guitar Man in Texas. Do you use different gauge winding wire on different pickups?
Yes, we use a lot of 42. We use 42 double build, and we use 43 single build quite a bit. We use some 44, but not very often.
Fried Rutabaga says the radiator humbucker looks fantastic.
Thanks, man.
That name just caught my attention. Anyway, fried rutabaga. Gary Lanham. Have you ever experimented with dipping telly or strap bobbins in anything other than lacquer?
Yeah, but lacquer works the best.
Yeah. Jeff Williams. Why do the poles on Fender pickups not line up with the strings?
I don't know. Ask Leo Fender since he was such a genius.
Wow.
Hashtag sarcasm intentional.
IBJI. Will the radiator pickups be heat treated?
I mean, how hot do you want them?
Rusty. Have you listened to neo soul music like Melanie Faye or Todd Pritchard?
Yes.
Lee Asbury said, I'd love a pickup whining class. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, ?
Okay, so the next question is going to be, I can't go to every city in the country, y'all. But if we did a class on the eastern seaboard somewhere, like in Georgia, where I live, would it be worth it to you to drive 8 or 9 hours to come to a thing for a weekend? If there was a place to stay and all that stuff. Like, that's what I need to know. Because here's the thing. I mean, the tip of Florida is 12 hours from me. Pittsburgh is 12 hours from me.
Like end.
Yeah. You know, Miami is almost 12 hours from here. Pittsburgh is less than that from here. New York is about 12. So, you know, the whole East Coast, we're right in the middle, basically. Kind of. So, it's central enough. The thing is would you drive here or fly here or get yourself here? However, I don't care. But would you do it? I mean, because if you would, we'll do it. But it has to be, and I'm just going to say it, it's a put your money where your mouth is thing. If I do this, you got to come. Otherwise, I'm going to be like, this is the dumbest thing ever, and I'll never bring it up again. And when people want to do it, that actually want to do it, it will ruin it for everybody. So just,
Jason
you know what I mean.
Clement, thank you for the super chat. He said, I just want to say thank you for all your dope videos and down-to-earth explanations of how stuff works. I still love the fence telly video and cutting up Fluence pickups.
Oh, I forgot about cutting up Fluence pickups. That was actually in your mom's driveway.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Your mom.
So when we were living in her driveway during COVID lockdown in our motorhome. Yep.
Cool. Oh, missed it. All right. We have to rapid fire. We're not going to get 13 in 2 minutes. Ed DePriest. Hey, Dylan and Leslie. Dylan, do you make a Firebird mini hum?
Not right now.
Monsters of the Id. Shoot. If I had enough advance notice, I would drive up from Jack's. I just have a tough time getting out of work.
Right on.
Jeff Williams. Can the capacitor or resistor be backwards and cause hum?
No. Don't let the snobs tell you otherwise.
John on 11 can't play any Roddy. Do we get to camp out in the unit?
No.
David Carter. When I realized the Weeknd uses real chord progressions, I went through a period of practicing leads over the last album, and it's a good album anyway.
The Weeknd is awesome.
Jacob Burial? I don't know. If you had 3 wide-range humbuckers with a 5-way... Sounds like a word problem. If you had 3 wide-range humbuckers
and they were driving
with a 5-way,
toward each other at the same speed.
Would you want the middle to be reverse wound and polarity to get something close to a Strat-like tone?
No, with a humbucker, you don't really do that the same way.
Jeff Williams said, sorry, I've been writing questions down and missed it the last 2 weeks. Does it matter if you ground everything to the tone knob rather than the volume knob?
You ground everything to the volume knob because it's directly grounded to the jack. That's why. But you can ground it anywhere you want, really.
Brad, Guitar Man in Texas, would it be possible to build a humbucker pickup with 2 bobbins wrapped with different gauge winding wire?
It's very possible because that's how we make our center punch. Boom.
Monsters of the Id. Ooh, there's a guitarist in Balkan Beatbox that has a really wild style going. Never heard anything like it.
I'll have to look that up.
You gonna remember it?
Yep.
Okay. Charles Wallace, I drove 2.5 hours to pick up an amazing guitar. Just saying.
You did.
Jim Cunningham, I was wanting to pick up with the darker 43 gauge and broke the wire several times. My daughter came in and asked, why is this gob of hair laying here?
You should see that trash can right there because I've been doing all of these rewinds on all of these wide range humbuckers that have been coming in, and it is a mess of wire.
And Gary Simmons says, I'm into guitars and motorcycles as well. Any chance of briefly talking about your prior life in the moto industry?
I feel like that guy thinks he knows something to ask it like that. It's just weird because I just had this conversation with my buddy the other night. I used to work, I was partners in a company with another guy, and we designed dirt bike parts for basically everybody. But we worked a lot with Honda, Yamaha, KTM, and Suzuki, and all of them. But basically, what we did, this was about the time that emissions really started getting into the off-road stuff, and so we were developing workarounds for emissions for off-road racing purposes. So if you had like a KTM EXC 535, for example, 530, for example, and it had all the emissions junk on it for California because they were making all 50 states California legal. We had all the stuff to take that off and rejet and block off all the little things and everything. So that was our job. And then I developed a thing for suspension. And so, yeah. And then to do a lot of our development, we did a lot of off-road racing and riding in Mexico. And one of my friends is Steve Hengefeld. He's won the Baja 1000 like 7 times. So we did a bunch of riding and developing with him. And then we also had a race team and set 2 world records at Bonneville in a couple of different classes. We took a dirt bike and went 135 miles an hour, 132.7, something like that. Did that a couple of years. We did that. In 2007, I broke my back in 4 places on a recreational ride just on a Friday night. I'd gotten a new bike that I was going to just take it out and break it in so that I could work with it the next week. And I crashed really hard and broke 4 vertebrae in my back, 3 ribs, my left shoulder blade. Almost died. They gave me 3% chance to walk. Barrow Neurological Institute in Phoenix put me back together. And yeah, so I sold out of that whole situation about a year and a half later. And then I got into a couple other things, built up another business and sold it, and then kind of got back into guitar stuff. Ironically, with a guy that I knew in the dirt bike days, he got me back into guitar stuff. So thanks to him, the rest is history. But yeah, so I love motorcycles more than guitars by a good margin. People don't realize that because they don't know that other story, but if I like guitars this much, motorcycles and anything you can race, I don't care if it's a shop and buggy, bar stools, it doesn't matter to me. If there's 2 of them, I'm going to race them. That's where my real love is all that stuff. I love this stuff too. It's great, but I love motorcycles a lot. I don't have any tattoos of any guitars.
You have a guitar pick.
But I have a tattoo of a motorcycle. By the way. Oh, I do. Yeah, that's right.
It's not to size.
It's not to size, but that's true. I do have this one.
Not to scale.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be to scale, I thought.
But I have way more motorcycle-related tattoos than I do this one guitar pick. Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Long story short.
Fat Philosopher, how many hours is the drive to Hiroshima, Japan? LOL.
I don't think I haven't looked at that.
IBJ, does installing a pickup upside down the same as if it had reverse winding?
No. Like if you spin it around? No.
Jason Albert, are the radiator pickups only DAF or can you get a center punch?
They're only DAFs right now, but...
Because it's a special run, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They're only DAFs right now. I guess we should try doing them in a center punch and see if they sell better. Because a lot of people really like those.
Kenneth Stover says, I used to race up Pikes Peak. Bet we know some of the same fools.
Maybe.
Eric Johnson said, dang, you were into motorcycles like hardcore.
You have no idea.
Eric Johnson, are PRS core pickups an odd size or can regular 50 millimeter space humbuckers fit?
I don't know about their humbuckers, to tell you the truth. I know that regular, like these strap pickups can fit in a Silver Sky, but I don't know about the regular humbucker. I've never had a core PRS with humbuckers in it. The only PRSs I've ever owned are, I had two SEs and these two that I have now. So I've never.
So while you were talking, David Kornblatt said, are you interested in mountain biking? And then I guess as the story progressed, he then sent another comment and says, I guess with that injury, no.
You would be wrong. So I actually started racing when I was a kid. And all through that whole time period, I was on a Stump Jumper Epic. And I had a Salsa Scandium hardtail. And I got hurt in May of 2007. And I was back on a dirt bike in July. And I was back on a mountain bike in September. Like I was, yeah. And I would ride right now. And I think maybe a couple months later, I bought a Salsa Spearfish 29er, and I had that for a few years. And I don't currently have a bicycle, but we were actually literally just today talking about the bicycle purchasing, going down that road again. I've also ridden a lot of road too. I've had more motorcycles and bicycles than you can even think about having guitars. Like, I've probably had 50 motorcycles. I probably had a dozen bicycles, like really good ones, because one of the magazines that I used to write for and was associated with was under the same family with a mountain biking magazine and an RC car magazine. So we used to get stuff. So now you can kind of see where my little interests all have come from. It's all from the power sports stuff, because that whole High Torque Publications was over a few different things. And so we'd get mountain bike stuff. We'd get RC car stuff. We'd get, all that stuff. All kind of crossed over.
All right. 9:08. I'm going to call it. We're not going to take any more, but we still have 9 more to go. Angel Raven 444. Do you guys know 5-watt Zach Beato, all those Southern guys?
I've met Rick Beato. I've always wanted to meet 5-Watt World because I think his content is fantastic. I do know Rhett Scholl. I know a few people, but yeah, I know a few people.
Those Southern guys.
Yep.
Fat Philosopher. I see many young players and young bands playing jazz masters these days. What is the appeal?
Because it's super punk, dude. Like, way punk. I mean, Jay Mashis.
Rusty. Dirt bikes. I miss the smell of castor oil.
Amen.
Windsurf Maui. Sorry to hear about your accident. Glad you survived and flourished. It must have been a hard recuperation. And then I just saw, if you like speed, take up kite surfing. You go fast and it doesn't hurt as much when you crash.
We have looked into it.
Yeah. We actually have a person here that does it.
Yeah, we have looked into it.
Fat Philosopher, when are we getting the PRS Silver Sky tattoo?
No.
Lee Asbury, been riding all my life as well. Small world.
Yep.
Jeff Williams, okay, I saw a Strat with everything grounded to the tone knob and it buzzed. So I ran a ground from the tremolo to the output jack. I think it helped. Should I have done it different?
So on a Strat, there should always be a ground from the trem claw to the volume pot. And then you can ground anything wherever you want. That whole star grounding thing is a bunch of crap. But on a Strat, make sure that you run an actual... See, Fender doesn't do it. Oh, they do it. Run an actual wire from the volume pot. I just do... Mine's neater than this. Run a wire from the volume pot to the tone pot to the tone pot. There's actually a wire that goes here. Don't rely on this shielding that's on the back of the pick guard. Make sure that you run a hard line across there.
Fat Philosopher said, it's okay liking bikes more than guitars. Wayne Gretzky is on record saying he was a better lacrosse player than a hockey player.
No, that can't be true. I'm also a bit of a fan of the hockey.
Jim Cunningham, does everyone understand that magnetizing a set of slugs is done by passing the magnet between two strong magnets with the poles opposite of the desired direction?
Is that true? No, that is not true. That is not true. When you put a pickup through the magnet, the south magnet is on the south side and the north magnet is on the north side. And when you put the pickup through there, the resulting magnets are the same as what the magnets are in the vise. The only reason I know that is because I just checked it the other day because I bought a new one and I wanted to make sure that they were consistent across, because I have 3 of them, and I wanted to make sure that they were consistent across all of them.
Oh, so you wouldn't do it wrong.
So I wouldn't do it wrong, or I wouldn't accidentally grab it and face it the wrong way, and then, you know what I mean? And so I did double check that, and I think that is... Now you're going to make me double check it, but I'm 99.9% sure that if you have the vise like this, and the south magnet is down here, and the north magnet is up here, and you put the pickup through, when the pickup comes out, the south will be on the bottom, and the north will be on the top. Yeah.
Is that how magnets work?
That is how magnets work.
Anyway. Mark Hott, what's the difference between Gibson CTS pots and Bourne pots?
They're just, the wipers are different, the way they're made. It's Ford versus Chevy, just a different way of doing the same thing.
Angel Raven 444, I raced a KX 500. Hey Dylan, did ya, like DIDJA, did ya ever ride one of those?
Many, many times. Those things would kill you. The KX 500 actually had the world record in our class before we broke it. That bike that she's talking about he had the world record in the class that we then broke that record. And then we rebroke our own record the next year. But it was started with a KX 500. Yep.
Lee Asbury said, what's your email?
Go to the website, DylanTalksTone.com. And down at the bottom, there's a contact us thing. Just hit that, and that comes straight to me. Cool. We made it.
Jim Cunningham is still saying north will make south. I swear. My compass says.
Yeah, but... Oh. There's where you're wrong. Because your compass is opposite. Did you know that? That's the thing. When you look at your... This is the problem. When you look at your compass... If the north says it's north, it's actually south. the compass is flipped. The polarity of the compass is flipped opposite of what the letters are. That is a well-known fact. You can Google that.
Did you do the skateboard thing?
Absolutely. I had Hosoi Hammerhead, but I'm mostly Caballero guy, and Bones Brigade. Yep, faux show. That's why I have a Dylan Pickups Santa Cruz shirt available at Dylan Talks Tone. You can click the link below. I did all the hurt yourself things.
He still would.
Yep. She has to stop me.
All right, so he said that's what I was trying to say. So maybe you and Jim are saying the same thing.
We're saying the same
thing. It's just hard to convey through.
Our polarity was opposite.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Anyway, 15 minutes over. That was a lot of questions. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Thank y'all.
Thanks for hanging out. We will see you on Monday with a review of the Black Star St. James amplifier.